Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, fans of Skytear. Welcome to a Top 8 game. I am the Commander reporting here for duty. And you know, one of my favorite things is the variety of hosts that we have had on this show. We've had crazy people, we've had serious people, but never have we had a presidential guest. And so I would like to introduce Mr. Clinton, who will be joining me for today's game.
Oh, thank you. I haven't heard that since the third grade.
Well, that makes you old.
Yes, it does.
That makes us both old. I was going to go for something else.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited I didn't get to play today, so I'm excited to watch some Skytear and talk Skytear.
Excellent. All right. Well, as we mentioned, today's game of the Top 8 series is going to be between Matt and Eric. Eric is on our bottom. Matt is on our top. As the higher seed, Matt did get to essentially win the coin toss for free. You will see he is going first. Eric will be going second, and the draft is already underway.
So it looks like today we have the 3 victory conditions. We have Right Breach, Skytear Master, and Tactician. So it looks like there's going to be a lot of battle in the dome to keep control, and then both opponents will be trying to push their Right Breach to get that victory as well.
Yes.
Tactician might be kind of a tiebreaker if it goes long, but I have a feeling one of the other two are going to be high pressure for the other two.
Indeed. And with the Terror of the Endless Night as the prize outsider for this particular match, I think that you're right, there will be a lot of dome fighting there, as the Terror does have the ability to swing things significantly, particularly with some of the heroes that we do see our players having drafted. Eric looking to bring a almost mono blue team with Brilvar, Ekrit, Freyhill, and Astrida. And on the other side, we have an almost mono green team from Matt. We have Sakoshi, Zakol, Ishatosk, and Tilakali.
Yeah, and it looks like really honestly, like I said, for the green, you got 3 heroes, Zakol, Sakoshi, and Takali, that can do multiple things with minions. So that looks like it is favored. Ixtas can of course have heroes change lanes fairly quickly if you need to. And then on the other side we have Astrida and Ekrit doing their normal things, killing lots of minions and spawning lots of minions.
Yes. So I assume that Matt going first will probably activate Tilakali first. That way he can get down a pillar in his right lane left from our perspective in order to prevent the Ekrit Wind Blast from deleting 2 minions with one go.
Yeah, I would say that's probably your typical opener that you'll see from green players with the Takali, is that protection of the minions, and then a lot of times if no one kills any minions, they're going to come out with a strong green player on the other side to protect the other set of minions.
But we're wrong on both counts.
Right to it.
Ishatosk popping the flex right off the bat. Presence? Yep,
Presence
okay.
Early.
All right, Ishatosk with the presence. So, noting that there's not really a whole lot of hero killing power on Eric's team. Obviously, Freyhill would deal piercing damage once she's shapeshifted. Perhaps Ishatosk is going to go for an early dome contest here. Presence.
Yeah, that's what I would assume. It gives them an advantage round 1, being able to kind of force your opponent to have to put an extra hero into the dome if you want to win it. But we'll see. Maybe he's going to put heavy Right Breach pressure. But he is going into the dome, it looks like, or staying right on that edge.
Ooh, interesting positioning there, because when you're in that position, he's now forced Ekrit to choose between wind blasting 2 minions or kicking her out of the dome. So
yeah,
that will be interesting to see. And then a lead from the deck, which we assume will probably be a 3, given the fact that he was able to predict 2 as the secondary effect of the presence. All right, let's see what Eric responds with.
The only thing is that is his left side, so if Ixatos gets bumped out into the lane, it is his left lane, so it's going to make it harder for Eric to win that way.
Indeed.
Via the right lane. However, we'll see.
Not taking the bait.
Interesting position, though. We got a situation where Zakol might be able to actually push Ekrit out of the dome.
Yes. So Wind Blast coming down from Ekrit. So with that illusion, she strikes 4 hexes in front of her, one of them having to contain her illusion. Kills off both of the minions. Since the pillar is actually in, from our perspective, the right lane, Tilakali is not able to protect it. And so therefore...
This could be an interesting play if Eric's actually trying to get Zakol to come into the dome and purposely push Ekrit out, because then that means he's overcommitting in the dome, and kind of like making it less likely to win those lanes.
Right. As it stands, we assume a 3 lead from Ishitosk, which means that he has a value of 5, but putting Zakol in there would be an overkill.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right.
Because I think Eric would be happy to get out of this round getting 2 tactician points.
Indeed.
And giving up the dome if necessary.
Yes. All right. We do see a lead coming down from the deck as well for Sakoshi. So not going to let Astrida run freely in the right lane. Going to thin out the numbers somewhat. So we'll see. As you mentioned, tactician does actually seem to be what Eric wants for right now based on the initial setup.
Yeah, so far it looks like a lot of 3s are coming out of, I don't have the deck list, but it looks like quite a few 3s are coming out of Matt's deck. So we'll see what happens here.
All right, well, we see an attack from Freyhill to kill off the pillar. So the pillar is going to be killed off. This will allow Astrida to do a little bit more effective work on her turn. So I assume the last activation will probably, or the last action here from Freyhill will probably be a worship action on Astrida, set herself up.
Also preventing Zakol's worship from destroying that other minion by taking out that pillar.
Okay, but it's a lead from hand instead, so... Will Astrida just simply move, worship, and attack then as a result? Or will Brilvar go first, shapeshift Astrida, and do something in the left lane?
Yeah, I honestly think that I don't think Eric's going to fight this dome. I think he wants to win the 2 lanes.
Yeah, I think the Ishitosk presence has more than cemented Matt's lead here in the dome.
And a lot of times just cutting your losses, knowing, kind of knowing. This is another interesting thing. Is it going to cause the Zakol to have to put a pillar into the dome, which means that it's not going to be able to get near minions. So it's kind of interesting to see what happens and if he's going to try to push that Ekrit out of the dome.
Yeah, Zakol's ability, for anyone who's not familiar, you can remove a pillar and then deal 1+ a flip damage to the minion that is adjacent to the removed pillar. So that's why we're kind of mentioning using that as a possible way to clear off minions. But we do see Zakol going to move here into the cover hex. Where does the pillar come? Because I'm assuming he's going to worship. Yep, there it is. He's going to put it back. He's committed to stopping Astrida from spawning minions in this lane.
Well... Yeah, this is the time where Astrida probably needs to do her action before Takali gets in there.
Yes.
It looks like he's going to push Freyhill into the dome.
Okay, so this makes sense then. You'd need the attack action. He's out of AP. So
okay, it was a skirmish. Sorry, it was a skirmish. I thought he was lining up and setting up position, but he was out of action points. Interesting.
All right. Well, so counter to what you just mentioned, Matt seems to be dogpiling in the dome.
Really wants to get control of that Terror of the Endless Night.
Yeah.
Very powerful outsider. Allows for you to basically disarm and potentially slow 2 of the heroes. Effectively making it very hard for them the next turn to add support and help in each of the lanes or domes when the Terror kind of does its actions.
And I think that's what Matt might be banking for, because Astrida would likely end up in either the cover hex below Freyhill or to the right, or we're just going to go out in the lane. And so therefore, Terror is going to be able to hit both of them with the Nightmarish Roar next round. All right, we're going to attack that pillar once again with Astrida too.
Not letting those pillars get built up.
Yeah. There's no Kotlik on the field to destroy a whole bunch of pillars and get massive skirmish damage, but nevertheless, pillars on the map protect minions. They allow for an Ixataxi to go off. Zakol can collapse the pillars during his activations. And we are going to finish with a worship on herself.
Onto herself.
So what does Brilvar do in this case? I assume he has to go to the left lane, right? Just push that control token straight up against the tower?
Yeah, the tough thing is right now for Eric, the left lane is control point number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So from our point of view, that left lane's gonna resolve before the right lane.
Right.
So that gives Matt the advantage when looking at right breach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, up until then, Eric was winning that side until Takali went into that lane.
Yes.
So the question is he gonna cast a pillar lead? My guess is he's gonna lead here.
I think so.
To try to kind of force Brovlar to do something.
Right. Yeah, because otherwise Takali will win and push the lane, and that would give 2 tactician points. Yeah, lead from hand. Yeah, so Brovlar basically has to respond to lane 1, or Eric's only going to get 1 tactician point. And that tactician point is not for the Skytear Master.
They might tie on the right. So maybe maybe Eric's fine with going over there, leading with a 3, winning the lane by 1. So both of them will get 1 tactician each, and Matt would get 1 Skytear Master.
Yep. All right. Well, Brovlar is coming over here, so we do see the move, we do see the lead, and then the last action has to be a worship.
Yeah.
There's not really any reason to skirmish anywhere, as you're fairly well hidden there. And all right, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh. Maybe.
Yeah, but the worship action's kind of a waste too, because it'll just kind of keep people away from Brovlar.
Right.
I mean, you can kind of do that. Maybe, but Eric's not going to be able to do much damage to the Kali. But he's going to go for it. Maybe try to add a little pressure.
Okay, we're going to go for the skirmish action here. So 0 plus the flip on the skirmish, -1. All right, no damage.
Heals for 1. Just kidding.
That would be unfortunate if that's how that worked. All right, so it looks like time to do some math here, right?
Yeah.
So Brovlar, we assume, leads from hand. Brovlar led with a 3 to Akali, so that's 1 point in favor for Eric.
It's going to be 1 tactician.
There we go. Respawn the minions. 3 to 2 on the minion lead there. So, again, this is the left lane push for Eric, so what he's really doing is preventing the right lane breach from Matt, but still stacking up those tactician points as well.
Kind of makes it where most likely you're going to have to wait to see till round 4 for the tower probably to come down instead of seeing the tower go down round 3.
Yep.
Setting that clock back by at least one round.
Now, what comes down to lane 2 here is, what is that Sakoshi lead? Is it a 3 from the deck? If it's a 3, we have a tie lane there.
Interesting placement of the minions there. Ooh, a 2. So that means Eric wins that one?
Yep, Eric wins by 1.
And that gives him 2 tactician points.
Yep. All right, 2 tactician points for Eric. The control token will advance again by 1, so 1 minion will die. And as we mentioned, the token there will advance against Matt as well. Again, probably not going to see tower destruction immediately, as there is a minion that still remains from the first round, but does start stacking Eric towards that tactician victory. Only needs 4 more control zones.
My guess is with this terror, he's probably going to come down there and mess with the Strata and Freya.
Yes.
So nice little pocket there. He can attack, he could disarm, he could push. You know, lots of different things.
Yeah, he can easily. My guess is you might grab Freyhill and drag her into the other cover hex, the bottom cover hex, and then that way you can push both of them and slow both of them and make it so that Freyhill's only possible influence would be the dome in next round.
Yep.
All right, now let's see what happens here. So we've referenced the abilities. Let's get them on the screen so we can take a look at this. As we mentioned, Terror of the Endless Night does have to spawn in a cover hex. Nightmarish Roar pushes each hero 1 hex and then applies slow to them in that 3 panel in front of them AoE that you see. Dreadful Majesty allows you to target a hero, place them adjacent to the Terror of the Endless Night, and apply Disarm. And then Bloodlust apply Frenzy to target adjacent enemy hero. And at this time, I would like to welcome the 3rd member to this awesome TriCast, Bearcat. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. How are you guys?
We are
going,
great.
Bearcat?
You missed a whole lot of nothing round 1.
Well, that sounds exciting.
Matt's concerned about the left lane there, putting the Terror in this knight on the left side.
Interesting.
My guess is trying to maybe pull Bravlar away.
Mm-hmm.
Placement.
Oh, he's dragging Tilakali. Okay. Well, you don't have to target an enemy with this. But
Interesting.
so he's gonna drag it, and then I assume we're gonna use Bloodlust to give her Frenzy since she's now adjacent to him. Okay.
And then Roar to slow
Ekrit?
Ekrit, I think.
Yeah, because you don't have to have line of sight for the Roar AoE there.
Maybe that move there is also to try to prevent Ekrit's AoE damage from killing the two minions.
You're right, yeah, because with where Brilvar's positioning is, she can't get into a line there without both a move and skirmish.
Yeah, not now. If he puts it one vertical, there. If he puts the hero there, a skirmish and a move and an attack can still get you there.
Correct, but with that, on the other hand, not the case. All right, and 0 damage. Oh no, we're discarding leads there. Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, wait, why are we flipping? That doesn't do any damage.
Yep.
All right, well, so as we mentioned, not a whole lot of violence round one, but a lot of tactical positioning here. So Eric is up on tactician points 2-1, but Bearcat, not Bearcat. Bearcat's not playing this game. Matt is up by 1 point on the Skytear Master. So 2 more Skytear tokens for him, and that will get him victory as well.
And for the viewers at home, if you look at the top part of your screen, you'll see the 3 victory conditions. It will also show you the victory points that each player has for both green and blue at the top, so you can kind of follow along of where people are at with their victory conditions. So Skytear Master, you need to have 3 tokens to win that, and Tactician would be 6.
Yes. All right, well, that was...
I wonder if you see Eric try to push right breach hard this round. You can see that those three minions are conveniently in a line. If Eckert were to be able to somehow get into the right spot, she'd be able to wind blast all of them.
So he would need to time warp her or something, or he'd need a charm to get rid of the move get rid of the slow, because she's slowed right now.
The problem is that wall of heroes on the right side. You got 2 blue, 2 green. He wants to kind of get to that spot. Actually, he needs to be in the spot to get all 3. He needs to be in the spot where Estrada is, right? To get all 3 of those minions. But you want to save one of the minions for Estrada anyways to do the spawn.
Yes. And so again, maybe, those annoying pillars coming down there.
Well, it's okay right now because Takali cannot see a pillar right now unless he has a stone barricade in hand, allowing for an instant cast of a pillar, allowing for him to protect 2 of those minions.
Yes.
So for Eric, if he's going to try to activate Estrada, seeing that she is shapeshifted, he should really try to shoot the minion in the bush, but he doesn't have line of sight at this moment.
Right.
Because the one in the bush is not protected by that pillar. So once again, for the viewers at home, is Skytear Drain being played by Zakol.
Looks like he is taking it and will discard Snowblind.
Okay.
And
Snowblind.
A second Snowblind.
Keep the snow away. It's only November. All right, we are going to see a lead, though, from the deck after discarding those 2 there.
Eric can continue to put pressure on both of these lanes. It'll force Lil Hokey to have to potentially evacuate the domes so that he won't be able to continue to advance towards Skytear Master. That could be something to watch for here.
So one thing that the chat pointed out is Eckert can still get those 2 minions on the left lane if she goes down below Tilakali. and
Sure.
and then does the wind blast upward. We were all kind of
And
focused on going over the top around Brilvar,
yeah,
but if you slip
the
your
tough
way
thing is
down
she's
there,
not in control at that point, so you got
that's
to depend
true.
on her value. Her
That's
value
true.
right now is Brovlar can kill the one minion. She could kill the other minion and stay in the dome and leave pressure on the dome.
This is true.
But yes,
Eric has
tough
responded
decision.
with his own Skytear Drano.
Oh god.
All the Skytear drains. No one's allowed to have cards.
Where's Ryan? Ryan would love this. All right, we see the flip there for a sinkhole from the skirmish. No damage on that.
And I think in this situation,
These are the
based on
cards
current,
that he's discarding from the
From the
Skytear
Skytear Drain. Oh, right. I'm sorry. Yeah.
based on the current state, I think really what it looks like Eric's trying to do is to try to get as many tactician points.
Yes.
He doesn't need to necessarily push the towers hard.
Mhm.
He just needs to win both lanes and hopefully win the dome. So putting him effectively at 5 tactician points for the end of round.
Yes.
Put him in a great position for round 3. That seems like the more viable thing, because you don't want to overcommit, because it's so easy sometimes in a lane to overcommit, put too many cards in, and they come in and shut it all down, and math is incorrect in your head.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think we've all been there. I don't want to speak for you two, but I've definitely been the case where I'm like, oh wait, my math is wrong.
Yeah.
And then I lose.
There's times where you just wish that the mod would even tell us who has control in the lanes.
Sometimes we might as well just program the mod to play the game for us. Just like,
Yeah.
here's my hand.
Turn it into a video game.
Yeah, make the optimal plays for me now.
I'm curious if a computer could actually play this game.
Oh god, that would be.
I don't
interesting.
know if it can.
Yeah,
What happens with Skytear is there's so many avenues and change in direction based on information in hand, information on the board, positioning. It's a very intriguing game, to say the least.
I mean, how many
Activity.
different games have been fed into computers that learn how to play chess? And chess is a much simpler game than this.
Oh yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's see. Yeah, you're right. Let's see. We've got action on the board. Ishitosk is going to activate, summons another pillar down to the field.
He's like, I'm going to keep these pillars and
play
another
presence.
presence.
Okay.
Does Takali have line of sight to a
does
pillar
not
at the moment?
No.
Not currently.
I couldn't tell if there was one underneath the outsider.
My gut is telling me that he has a stone barricade in hand.
He does have 2 cards left, so that is certainly a possibility.
I think he's sitting on a stone barricade, and he's hoping that Estrada goes for the kill on one of those minions, and he places a stone barricade, defeating or making the attack fizzle, and getting line of sight, so he has that pillar. So
he might also use that pillar if Ekrit decides to come down. I know you said that she probably won't due to the value, but Eric may have some information with the 3 cards in hand that we don't. All right, but the big tank is going to shamble his way into the center of the dome here and call it a day.
Looks like he's content just to continue to push towards Skytear Master.
Yep.
Because with Ikhtatask playing presence and leading most assuredly with a 3, he's going to be worth 5 points in there.
Yep.
All
right, looks like Brilvar is going to activate now. So this will tell us what Eric intends to do with Ekrit based on whether Brilvar goes
stone barricade.
Okay, so interesting that he's popping the stone barricade now when Brilvar is declaring a move.
Does have to target the hex, where the new worship, you actually don't need to target the hexes anymore. However, with stone barricade, you still do have to target the hex.
So that play prevented Brilvar from being able to position himself next to Takali to do the taunt, because that was the only path of 3 spaces where he could get next to Takali.
Another Skytear.
Oh my god! And there goes a from below, which is Ishitosk's.
So right now, Matt is at 0 cards and Eric is at 2. These cards are going to be extremely valuable now,
Yes.
seeing as there's not much killing going on. I don't know if there's going to be damage to tower, so effectively each player is going to only draw 2 cards per round.
Yeah, and oh my god, no, I'm just trying to think how much value of entertainment has been lost from the 3 Skytear drains that we've seen here.
So we lost an Ixotask Ultimate. What was the other card that he just discarded?
Combustion.
Combustion.
Yeah.
Well, Combustion was one of the
First set,
ones
yeah.
that he threw. The first one, yeah.
He only had 2.
It looks like a slide. It was a Sinkhole, a Combustion, a Slide, and a From Below.
Oof.
Those were the 4 cards he lost, and Eric lost 2 Snowblinds.
Snowblind is probably something he's not too disappointed to get rid of.
Right.
In this matchup, yeah, I don't think he cares as much. No one has really tried to attack anyone. Maybe a skirmish here and there, but hardly any damage has been driven out.
All right, well, let's see. Matt is going to go ahead with Tilakali's activation here, taking advantage, I think, of the Frenzy. Killed off one of the minions. I assume we'll then repeat and kill off another minion.
Yeah, and Matt, in order to be careful here, he's going to have to make sure he moves closer to that control point.
Yes.
He's in a very dangerous position here with Ekrit being in range of being able to push him out of control.
Yes.
He still might win the lane, but maybe not by as much as that he hoped.
Oh, going to jump all the way over there. That's interesting because Ekrit could skirmish, worship, and then attack and blast Tilakali down. Oh no, you can't do that.
And kill a minion.
Closer. Yeah.
He'd have to move 3 spots.
Yeah, because down would technically be
hit him
closer.
with a wind blast.
Yeah, nope, that's a safe place. That's a safe place to park
So it depends on if there's any charms or anything like that to get rid of the slow.
Yes.
So he's got one more action point. He used his second one to kill the other minion, so he's got one more. Most likely going to come in with a lead. Try to push this control point closer to his tower.
Yep, there it is. Leads from the deck. A lot of leading from the deck from his deck, but we've seen a lot of his cards are 2 and 3 mana cards, not super high on the modifiers. All right.
So
Estrida or Ekrit? That is the question.
An interesting play could be Ekrit moving in and killing the pillar, so that on the next activation, Estrida would be able to use her ability to kill and spawn.
That's true. With Sakoshi being...
Ekrit's just going to kill the minion while it can.
Okay.
Right.
There's the attack. Wind blast the minion out. I assume she's just going to stay in the dome at this point? Or is she going out into the lane? Are we going for a tie in the dome here?
She's slow, so she can't move very far. There it is, the skirmish.
That makes more sense, yeah. Okay. Ekrit, I assume, then will lead from somewhere.
Effectively,
Ooh.
Bewitch.
Okay.
That's pretty big.
Yes.
Yep.
Because this sets him up to win this lane.
Yep. That is...
And then probably just a lead.
Yep. That's gonna pretty much guarantee that Eric wins that, because that's gonna be 3+ to Lakali's 1+.
And both lead from the deck. So I guess you could see something interesting happen, but I doubt Eric runs very many 1-mana cards. So odds are, at worst, he ties.
Yes.
It's where you got to have faith in your deck and what it's going to flip or lead with.
Yep.
Sometimes you got to have faith and it comes back to bite you.
Would you happen to know anything about that?
Only a couple of times.
All right.
And it's more than once.
All right, so Sakoshi's going to come into the field here with move and skirmish. So Matt, pretty confident he's got control of the lane over there. Pinging the 2 HP bar for some reason. Does he lead from the deck as well here?
Worship, yeah.
Oh, worship. Yep.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
That makes sense. Yep. With Sakoshi's worship action, target on a straight, or I'm sorry, not a straight, target on Ekrit, and then blow up the minion. So now it's going to come down to whose lead from the deck was better.
Yeah, still has a chance to win that lane based on the assuming both have 3s. Gives Matt control of the dome.
Yep, because Ishitosk has presence.
Stratus is going to need to lead over here too.
She'll have to decide whether Eric will have to decide whether he wants to use Astrida to tie the dome or guarantee the win in his lane, his right lane.
Yeah. Yeah. So Matt gets at least 1 point here. The question, at least. So the question.
I think you go with the lane because of the potential for. Yeah.
Getting rid of that
I think
pillar.
it's the lane, but maybe not.
Well,
I think you prefer the lane because that puts you
Ooh.
pretty likely at 4 points for tactician.
And yet he's going.
However, winning the dome is Matt's win condition, right? That's his win
Yes.
condition. So preventing him from winning, the best way to win is to make sure you don't lose, right? So
Yes.
taking that win condition, so he's got to wait a whole nother round of winning the dome twice, is gonna allow for him to do that. Okay,
Alright,
we got a
so-
lead with a 1, a lead for
So
3.
Matt led with a 1. That's
faith-
gonna hurt.
The faith from the deck was there. The result from the deck was not. So Eric
Because
will
if you had the opposite occur, Matt could be looking at a lead on tactician if he was able to win both lanes there.
Yep. All right. Zakol leads with a 2. So that'll be 2 minions dead for Eric.
3 minions,
Or 3
counting
minions, excuse
Zakol.
me. Yep. Counting Zakol himself. And so that control token does press 3 units towards Eric. Obviously no tower damage in this state. So now, lane number 2 actually looking pretty threatening here. It is not the right breach victory condition for Matt, but if he's able to survive and potentially snowball this, that could threaten a Nexus in turn 4.
Ooh.
Oh, he didn't get a 3 in the dome.
Oh no!
So Matt's gonna win the dome as
Skytear
well.
Master. Okay.
That's a huge.
That's big.
Can one of you tell me how many cards are left in Matt's deck?
He has 7.
7. Okay, because I know I've seen him flip all 3 presences. He's played 2, and then one of them he flipped or discarded. So I was wondering how close we were to a deck shuffle.
Yeah, and we also have 1, 2 ultimates so far, 3 ultimates.
Mm-hmm.
The only ultimate that's not in there is Cole's. So this is interesting. This makes it where it's going to be a dome battle here.
Yep. Matt basically just needs to funnel everybody into the dome and hope that he can outmaneuver Eric. So Ekrit.
So Eric has 1 presence that he's going to have to discard this time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has potential of having two presents.
Yes.
We have not seen he's only going to have 1 in the discard. So he could try to play that into the dome
Mm-hmm.
to try to give him that advantage, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I think if you have the presence, you just stick all 4 of your characters in the dome and just win. And then do anything you can to avoid some type of push situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't have to be worried about right breach right now.
Correct.
Neither one does.
Yeah. Okay, well, the Terror is going to go ahead and destroy the minion. I assume we're going to drag Ekrit and slow her to prevent her from getting into the dome.
Yep.
Yep, that looks to be the case. Option number 2 is the...
I would have put her in the spot. I guess it doesn't matter. Each one is 3 spaces away from the
dome,
nexus. From
but
the dome.
The added bonus, though, would be... Well, no, you'd still get within range of the control token after you moved a little bit closer. All right, well, that was an interesting round there, so...
Yeah, I think Matt
round 3.
got a pretty big advantage by winning the dome going into the third round.
He's on game point, and as we can see, it's 3-3 on Tactician, so...
It's the dome. It's going to be a dome battle here.
Yep. That's what we said at the beginning of the game before, Bearcat, before you joined us. We both thought that this was going to be a dome battle royale, and so far it's shaping up to be that way.
Even right now, depending on like what we're seeing here, if it's a dome battle, most likely Matt will get his left lane, which is our right one.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to win that unless someone pops out, shoots some things, and then hops back in. So he still got that good advantage of having 4 minions.
Yes.
5 minions on that right lane.
Oh, Sakoshi's playing Doom right off the bat against Brilvar. I would have thought she would have used the Doom on Astrida to prevent a Song of the Siren. Or have we seen that already and I just wasn't paying attention?
Well, the problem is probably range, can't target.
Well, right, but what I'm saying is, like, why wouldn't you have moved within range of Astrida and then cast that?
Sure.
Oh, well. We did see a Bewitch get removed, so I'm sure Matt will be happy to see that. Bewitch allows you to kill a minion and spawn a minion, so that'll help prevent...
To be honest, I think this is all to shut down sinkholes.
Ah, that's a good point. Yeah, sinkhole and
sinkholes can probably have a little bit more value in this situation than Song of the Siren. Song of the Siren's good, don't get me wrong, but the sinkholes could be devastating to Matt's game plan to win that dome.
Okay, interesting. Have we seen Zakol's ultimate?
We have not.
Ooh, so there's a possibility. So Totemic Slam might come out to potentially eject somebody from the dome as well if they attempt to do a sinkhole play or something. So setting up that pillar would allow for additional damage, but again, as you've mentioned already, Clinton, not a whole lot of, okay, well, we're just going to go up and get in front of everybody's business here.
I think the one thing you do see that puts this maybe somewhat in Eric's favor, after Matt played that Doom, he only has 1 card in hand.
Yes.
So there's really not a whole lot he's going to be able to do in order to influence positioning on the board.
So at that point, it might actually be Totemic Slam because we have not seen it. He's got 2 cards left in his deck, right? So it's probably that ultimate, and he's setting him up so he can see and he can kind of do what he needs to.
Yep.
If I had to be a gambling man, I think that is Zakol's ultimate in his hand.
Yeah, I mean that ultimate you can.
It is a reaction.
Throw him out.
It is.
Just throw him out of the dome.
Get
One
out!
of my favorite artwork. Like the artwork on that is amazing.
Oh yeah. Do like the 300 Spartan move. This is Zoltan. Boom. Drop him right out of the dome. All right, so we see Nature's Reclaim. So Eric is actually up to full hand after having, what, 2 cards at the end of last round?
Yeah.
Correct.
So Eric, pretty loaded up here. Probably has a sinkhole and or a chasm play available to him now, although obviously Astrida and Brilvar are both tapped out of mana, but Astrida can, Freyhill can cast either of those cards, and Ekrit can cast chasms.
So we got an attack here. It's going to kill a minion, spawn a minion.
Yep.
I think what Eric maybe was fishing for is, well, but he doesn't have the mana anymore to do a Bewitch.
Right. Does he have any more? I know we've seen 1 Bewitch was played, 1 was forced out from the Doom. Does he have a third copy?
It looks like there's 1 in discard and then 1 played from the Doom.
Okay, so there is possibility that he does have the Doom card. Interesting.
But Freyhill might be able to do that as well.
Yes.
The only concern is anyone next to Ixatos is going to be slowed now that there's a pillar.
Yep. Yeah, so Brilvar will taunt anyone that activates adjacent to him, but Ishatosk will slow anyone that activates adjacent to him as well. So we'll see what effects that has. Although, again, as we mentioned, if you're going for a dome pile, probably don't care a whole lot if you're Freyhill, because you might skirmish out into the dome, attack, and then move back in. Well, with that positioning, no, I don't think you would, but go for a lead action here with Astrida.
Wow. What was this, a skirmish action, or is this?
Yes, this was the skirmish.
This is a skirmish.
Just not seeing on the HUD show up as a skirmish. Oh, there
we
it goes.
go. And then I assume the final action probably going to be a...
The problem is whoever leads. If he leads here with Astrida, Astrida's out of the dome.
Oh, yeah.
Granted, he could have another Skytear discharge in hand, play with Freyhill. But I think at that point, you react and you push the person out of the dome.
Mm-hmm.
Eric, sorry, Matt, looking at his hand, trying to wonder where those last two cards are.
Yeah, and this is one of those important parts. You know, we often talk about playing with your deck a number of games just to understand all the cards that you have in it, and this is one of those cases, of course, where when you know your deck, you can look at your discard and go, okay, this, I know what that card is that needs to be flipped over, and so you can decide how you want to get access to it. All right, so it looks like we are going to heal Astrida there with Freyhill's passive ability and shapeshift Astrida as the final action.
So if nothing changes in that right lane, Matt will win and get another point on Tactician, with him having 4 minions to his 3. So even if everything goes maybe Eric's way in the dome and he is able to tie, Matt will get a little bit closer on Tactician.
Yes.
Looks like we have a 2-2 minion count in the left lane.
Mm-hmm. Eckert is down there, but I expect that Eckert will probably converge towards the dome here. Because that risk of Totemic Slam coming out.
Yeah.
Or does Eckert or does Eric chance it and think, no, there's no Totemic Slam, keep Eckert over there and risk losing to the Skytear. No, that's Eric is too good a player to make that risk. What am I saying, Eric? I'm sorry. I apologize for insulting you like that, even if you can't hear me. All right,
Kali with a move.
All right. Stakali coming to join the Dome Party. Once again, this is not going to be COVID safe here for what's about to happen.
Just a dog pile in the dome.
Okay, well, there we go. Also keeping Stakali away from the perimeter so that Eckert can't do anything weird with a wind blast.
I think Matt's playing it smart, keeping his heroes near the center so that a sinkhole will not knock him out.
Yep.
What kind of mana curve does Matt have? I see he's leading from the deck. Is he have a pretty high likelihood of drawing what he wants?
It seems like it's a lot of 2s and 3s.
Yes.
But he does have 1s.
I see the Doom. So there's at least some one mana
stone
card.
barricades, some drains, some slides, life steal. It's got a lot of 2s.
Yeah.
I
think it's probably like a 50-50 on 3s and 2s.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Ixitosk and Sakoshi both lead, just increasing his odds of hitting that 3.
Yeah. So we only got 1 card left in his deck. So either the lead there is Totemic Slam, or it's on top of his deck, or it's in his hand.
Right.
Eric taking no chances of leading with a 2.
Yep. And we're going to go ahead and attack Tilakali. Doesn't do a whole lot there. That, in fact, does nothing at all. -1 on the flip there. Brilvar does 2 damage, -1, and then Tikali has an armor to shrug off the rest. So we're just going to go ahead and do a taunt, which will force Ishatosk to hit Brovar whenever he activates.
Okay, so I see an interesting play. We'll see if it happens.
Okay.
You got, if Ekrit moves skirmishes over to worships and sinkholes both Takali and Ixatos to the left, you could push them both out of the dome.
If you...
So Ekrit skirmishes 2 to the right,
Okay.
worships, but you have to make sure that sinkhole goes off.
Right.
I don't believe that she can hit Ixatos with a sinkhole.
No, Freyhill.
Freyhill has to use a sinkhole.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Okay.
Wait, what was the last card that just flipped? What happened there? Did we miss it? There was an attack or something.
Yeah, I actually did miss that one, unfortunately.
We missed it.
We were theorizing. Hold on, quick. Watch the replay. We'll see if it comes up. Oh, it was a Doom card.
It was Doom?
It was Doom,
No.
Yes. This is why you keep the
was
stream open on a secondary laptop so that you can watch whenever you miss stuff.
Nice.
All right. Lead from the deck, then.
So Totemic Slam is in his hand.
Oh, baby. So that means that one of Freyhill or Estrida is going to get punted out of the dome. Probably Freyhill.
It's whenever they cast the sinkhole.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, is that Freyhill does not get to cast Sinkhole because then she just gets ejected. So that's going to be interesting. All right, and we're going to worship and pop another pillar.
It's probably so that when you do the Zakol's action, maybe, to get more damage.
Maybe.
And that looks
We're going to put it out there for reasons. Okay. Well, let's see what Eric does here. Eric does still have 2 heroes to activate. So we have Freyhill, we have Ekrit. Oh, wait a minute. Does Ekrit's ultimate push 1 or 2? I forget.
2.
Ooh, so. Oh, no, she's slow. Never mind. She can't do anything about that.
She can skirmish move and then do her.
Yeah. Skirmish move.
Well, it's based on her. It's based on her ultimate, though, right?
It's her illusions, yeah. But I'm trying to think.
Where the illusion is
Or
located.
the illusion.
Yeah.
The illusion is to the left, in the left lane.
Yeah, I mean, you could move Skirmish Worship to get the illusion token in between Brovar and Sakoshi, and then blast Sakoshi and Tilakali out of the dome. That's a possibility.
I think Freyhill needs to move away from Zakol.
Yes. Regardless of what happens, Freyhill needs to move. She is slowed, by the way. Having activated from being adjacent next to Ishitosk.
I think she needs to make sure she's away from Zakol when she ends her activation here. We still also got the lanes. Looks like they're in favor right now. The right lane is in favor of Matt.
Yep.
He is up by 1. 1 is enough.
And left lane currently in favor of Eric, who is also up by 1.
Yeah. Yeah, there might be like I said, there might be a situation where Ekrit stays in that lane if she can maybe push 2 out. In that way you get the extra point. So then I guess you tie both on that and win the dome. So that looks favorable in that situation.
Oops. I forgot to mute the degeneracy chat, and the entire chat has been watching the degenerate chat log pop up on stream. That has been rectified.
They have lots of comments.
I know. I just noticed that whenever I was looking there, and I'm like, whoops.
Song of the Siren flipped.
All right, so there will not be a Song of the Siren coming out next turn for Eric.
Worship attack, skirmish. Okay, should get away from Zakol. Otherwise, you're getting pushed out of the dome. Just staying in that position.
Okay. Still holding on to... I think it's like a game of chicken here of between Zakol and Freyhill, whoever activates first, the other one is going to get hit with the response card. So Zakol tries to Totemic Slam someone, Freyhill sinkholes him away. If Freyhill tries to play the sinkhole, Zakol Totemic Slams her away.
Sure.
And I would
I'm not
assume
for
Eric knows that's going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Eric
Which
is
makes
a
it
smart
really
person.
challenging for him. So what does he
Yep.
do with Eckert here?
Yeah, she can't make it into the dome. Unless she has a charm.
Unless he has some kind of like removal.
Yeah. Oh, but Sakoshi's going out?
Jumping out, killing a minion, jumping in.
That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And when so that's a skirmish.
Oh, no, he's deleting... Ah, okay. So he's worried that she could just move the illusion from her current position
The strong
with a
play.
worship action. Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
So now what Eric could do is well, I guess he's not. I was going to say he could have sinkholed with Eckert to keep Sakoshi locked out of the dome. Is there a way you could have positioned the sinkhole so that he would have been stuck?
No, I don't. I think it makes it where you can always go into the dome because you have to target a hex within 2.
Yeah.
Well, if you targeted the control point, you could make the AOE hit Sakoshi but not overlap the dome.
Coming from Freyhill?
No, coming from Eckert.
Eckert can't
do it.
sinkhole. It's a green card.
Because she needs a green rune.
That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
I just assume every character can play sinkhole.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, we see sinkhole so much that it seems that way, so that's perfectly fair. Can we appreciate for a moment what Yami could do with a sinkhole? All right.
Chasm.
It's a chasm play. All right, so we're going to play chasm. Here's where the Totemic Slam comes out, and Freyhill gets blasted out of the dome, I think.
Yeah, that's what I think happens.
Because otherwise, this is what we refer to as
I mean,
not good
Chasm can
situation.
work to push everyone and then let Eckert do her thing. There it is.
There it is, Totemic Slam. Bye-bye, Freyhill. So Totemic Slam is going to allow Zakol to punt Freyhill 4 hexes backwards. It will
3
deal
hexes.
some damage. Is it 3? I thought it was 4. Okay.
It's 3.
Well,
It deals 4 damage.
He's hitting Freyhill,
Yeah,
so
Yeah,
the
that's-
chasm will
yeah.
not go off.
that's
Correct.
correct.
Wait, is he hitting a strike? Okay.
No, yeah.
He's hitting.
Yeah. Eric grabbed the wrong token. All right, so push back 3. If there was a pillar that would have been adjacent to where Freyhill would have ended up, she would have taken additional damage. But as we mentioned, we're not really seeing. See, it is 4. I thought it was 4.
So does
No.
this clinch the game?
I think it does.
Yeah.
I
Freyhill.
mean, the only
push
way
from
I
3.
think the game's not over is if Matt led with 1s. Both of those
It's-
cards
it's
that he
Oh,
led
yeah,
with.
it is 3. You're right. I double checked the card just now, so I am wrong. Okay. I'm sorry for doubting you. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Totemic Slam is 4 damage, 3 hexes. You might need to give them a chat message to let them know. It ultimately isn't really going to matter too much, but just in the interest of playing the cards correctly. Yeah, Totemic Slam does push 3 and deals 4 damage. And if you are adjacent to a pillar, it does deal an additional 2+. But as we mentioned, the utility that Matt got out of this one was the fact that it just boots Freyhill out of the dome, reducing the control value, but also more importantly, eliminating the hex.
Right.
Now that being said,
got the
Eckert's
ultimate here.
Wind Blast is still going to come down and remove
Yep.
both Tilakali and Sakoshi
Yep.
from this dome.
Actually, it can knock. Yeah, just those 2 both out of the dome, and it's close. At that point, it comes down to
Yep.
flips.
Yep. All right. So nobody played a presence this round. So Brilvar did lead from the hand, and Ishatosk did lead from the
So
deck.
it's the faith in your leads from deck.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
It helped Matt 1 round and hurt him 1 round. So we'll see what happens in the 3rd round.
Yep. So Eckhart's ultimate makes it so that she cannot be targeted, and then you place an AoE down on top of her illusion that gets all 6 of the hexes that surround the illusion. You deal 2 damage to each enemy hit, and then push them 2 hexes, which is why Sakoshi and Tilakali are now sitting on the outside looking in. And boy, would that be unfortunate if the lead 3 from deck was on Tilakali at this point.
I think Zakol could have actually pushed him into that pillar, by the way, too. He could have went 1, 2, 3
Yeah.
to the left.
Yeah, that would have. Yeah, each one of those would have worked, but.
And then a lead here
Ooh,
as well.
Okay. So that tower is in trouble.
Gone.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Well, let's see. There's 2 minions there, so then okay. So
Ixitas's lead is the thing that matters the most.
That is true. All right. So, tactician victory point there.
So I'll move
for Eric. And the tower is gone. Yep. All right. Well, as we mentioned, that is Eric's left breach there, which is not the actual objective. So, although the tower is destroyed, the only real consequence is now that the Nexus is vulnerable, and Matt no longer spawns minions from that particular lane. So you'll see that Eric bolsters his minion count.
So that means
to
that's
4.
almost a guaranteed win unless something crazy happens, which we've seen crazy things happen before.
Absolutely. So now we resolve over here in lane number 2. Matt does win this one as well. I'm sorry, not as well, because Eric won the last one, so that wouldn't be an as well statement.
By 1?
Yep. Wins by 1, destroys 1 minion, gets the tactician point here.
Yeah, whoever wins this, if Matt wins the dome, it's over, obviously.
Yep.
If Eric wins it, it's game point for tactician, which favors the left lane.
Yep.
For Eric, but still you gotta wait. You gotta be careful of that dome. So then it's a dog pile into the left lane to make sure.
Oh, yeah, he got to 3 with both of them.
3.
Oof.
So it
All right.
ties.
Tie. That's not in Matt's favor.
It could have been worse.
It could have. Yeah, that's very true. This does
He
at
could have
least
won it.
Yeah. That does at least make it so that if you defend the left lane, you don't have to necessarily win everything else to prevent the 6-point tactician victory here. You just now have to do enough in the left lane so that your Nexus doesn't go kaboom.
Yeah. Looks like Eric's win condition could be winning 2 control points or Nexus destruction, but it really looks like Matt has to try to win that dome as his victory condition.
Yep.
And if he wins the other lane and the dome, he still gets it there, but he may lose if Nexus destruction happens first. Going back to why it's so important to know where the control point order of operations, of which one will be resolved when.
But despite a very bloodless game here,
A lot of back and forth.
a lot of back and forth action here, yeah. Very close game overall. So we've seen Song of the Siren flipped for Eric this previous round in turn 3, so we know we won't see that this round.
Back in the deck, though.
Oh, did he shuffle?
He did just shuffle.
Okay.
Yeah, but we do have Avalanche and Eye of the Storm is in his discard, so we're probably not going to see either one of those ultimates.
Okay.
So that means Song of the Siren could be shuffled in there and drawn.
Glacial Rebirth, not really an important thing
Game
here.
changer.
Useful for a lead, but not really going to be affecting any of the combat of this particular game.
Freyheld being slow looks like she'll probably just have to go into the dome.
Yes. All right, so Kali's going to play Skytear Drain. All right, Matt has had enough of this garbage, and Matt says, all right, fine, time for me to shrink your hand down. So let's see what Eric ends up getting rid of here. Eric's got 5 cards.
I don't know if Eric minds seeing that at all.
Yeah.
Because now even though he has to lose 2 cards, instead of having, an advantage of I think it was 6-2, he has an advantage of 4-1, which might be better from his perspective.
Yeah, he knows that the
3-1.
chances of having
3-1.
weird shenanigans happen, right?
Yes.
Kinda makes you
Basically, he
feel
knows
Mhm.
there's no combination of cards that Matt can play now with only 1 card in his hand.
Right.
Also
There's-
means leads are going to depend on probably off the top of the deck. Most likely not going to lead from hand with that 1 card.
Right.
Got to keep your opponent wondering what that 1 card is.
Well, we know it's not Totemic Slam. We saw that just now. I wonder if it's Thousandth Ritual. I can't see any situation where that would be super useful here, but...
That was before
Okay. we
it
did
was
see
in his
that already.
discard, but it might have flipped over and shuffled back in.
Okay. Well, we do see an attack action coming down, so Chilikali is going to come down. Oh, well, there's the Thousandth Ritual, so that answers that question.
Wondering minds wanted to know, and we found out.
Although Takali did use 2 mana already for Skytear Drain, so she wouldn't have been able to play it anyways, so...
So he positioned his Takali where
Yeah.
she is already set up to get pushed by Ekrit.
Yeah, that...
But Ekrit's still going to want to push Takali back,
Right.
right?
Well, if you're playing for Nexus Destruction, do you care if you push Takali?
Ooh, and
into
there
the
it
dome?
is!
Song of the Siren was drawn.
Okay, wow. Oh, but Zakol's going
I-
to respond with the slide.
Nice.
Okay, so that totally empties Matt hands, but I would say that that's absolutely worth it. Slide will allow him to force Astrida out of the dome. Of course, she can move her way back in, but more importantly, it does make the Song of the Siren fizzle.
The funny thing is this helps a little bit if Eric wants to do anything in that lane. 'Cause
Yes.
He doesn't have to move in that lane. He's
It's
already
true.
there.
Yep. You can worship. You don't need to worship. You're already shapeshifted. You can attack, lead, and then re-shapeshift yourself, or move into the dome, as you please.
He does still have all 3 actions to spend.
Yep. Also, as a question from the chat, why does Eric have 4 minions on the right? Because he had 3 minions, lost 1 to the end of round minion resolution to bring him to 2, and then spawn 2 more to give him 4. All right, we're going to delete a minion. We're going to sacrifice 2 HP from Astrida. We're going to spawn a minion.
So now making it 5-5 in that lane.
Okay.
For minions, if we're just looking at minions,
Correct.
probably meaning Astrida's probably not going to stay there. She's
Oh, she is. Okay. So the
well.
theory...
I guess he's trying to force that he can get 2 victory conditions.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. And then that means that he doesn't need to worry about Skytear Master because the third one...
Or
the
Nexus
dome-
Destruction.
Yeah. So this is Eric spreading out the win conditions for himself and saying, all right, I have 2 ways to beat you. You need to stop both of them because both of mine will go off before you're able to get your win condition.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but Astrida is going back into the dome, so never mind. Never mind. All right. So, interestingly enough, Zakol does have to attack Brilvar with the taunt.
Zakol,
If he
and
activates.
Zakol still gets to activate, which is nice.
Yes.
Where before he was gonna have to sit the round out, but that slide came in handy.
Yep. But now Matt is totally out of cards, so Eric knows he does not have to worry about responses for the rest of the turn.
Yep.
So what do we do here? So Ekrit is not next to any minions, so Sakoshi's worship on her would not be beneficial to deleting any minions. Do you move, attack a minion in lane 2, and then skirmish into the dome? With Sakoshi, perhaps?
I think Sakoshi's gonna have to go to that other lane. He's
Oh,
got
that's
to
true,
he's
yeah.
got to put some
Yeah.
pressure over there. Being able to attack another minion, put another body over there, I think has value. The only concern is Brovlar could potentially sinkhole, bring Takali and Sakoshi back into the dome.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, in that case, it's almost like you have to skirmish, move yourself on top of the control point, and then attack a minion, or lead rather, from there. All right. Well, he's flipped combustion from the attack on Zakol. So do we push Zakol? Yes, we do. Okay.
It really feels like if Matt's going to win this game, he has to do it this round. And I'm struggling to see how that happens.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it goes to round 5. I think somebody's going to win here either way. Worship action again.
Because what he really needs to do is,
I think that was that an attacking. Worship to kill the pillar to kill a minion.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Yep, that minion was adjacent to the pillar, did not need line of sight to it, so now we're going to go ahead and respawn. So that actually is useful, as that does allow Sakoshi to get into the Control Zone 1's influence with just a move action. As before, he would have needed both a move and a skirmish in order to get into lane 1. Now placement of the pillar.
so what I'm expecting to see is I'm expecting Eric to activate Freyhell last, just to see if he can, how he wins the game, because he can just move into that right lane, win the control point,
and win one of the other positions,
and just win one of the other ones.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of expecting Ekrit to push Takali back into the dome.
Yeah. I think she might be second to last. Yeah, I think Brovlar goes here. It's a skirmish, plays a presence, even giving him more presence in the dome. And like you said, Freyhale can support in the dome or go to the right lane and win it.
The unfortunate thing for Matt is that the control point in the dome triggers last.
Yep.
Because I see Eric winning both lanes if he wants them.
Yeah, because she can just skirmish, attack, and lead.
Right.
Onto the right lane.
I think that's what we're going to see from Ekrit here. You're going to see the attack pushing Takali into the dome. You're going to see a lead.
The careful thing there, though, is Ixatas can do taxi if it needs to pick up Takali and take him further in. Her in. Right? So it's a little bit of a kind of waiting game, I think, here.
Yeah,
trying to see who's going to make the move.
Ishitusk will have to waste one attack against Brovar as he's shapeshifted, but after that, you can still do a move and a worship action to do the taxi. And Sakoshi is going to go after that minion. Okay, so we are going to secure lane number 2, it looks like, for Matt.
Interesting.
I mean, maybe the move is Ixatas can put people wherever he wants, right? Put him into the dome or put him into the lane.
The position he's in right now, he's winning. Matt is winning the lane on the right. If he does something with Ixatas to move all of his heroes into the left lane, he can try to secure Tactician. He does have 4 at the moment.
They both have 4, so it's like whoever wins 2
Right.
could potentially win this, right? Now, if there's a tie in one of the spots, that's another thing. So he's leaving him over there. A lot of effort there.
So if Ixatas is going to taxi, he first has to attack Brilvar, so he's only got 2 actions remaining. He'd have to skirmish, then worship.
Yep.
And that also assumes that Eric can't... Well, Eric's 2 characters in the dome don't really have the mana to do anything to stop him unless he's got a push. or shove.
Well, we do see Freyhill skirmishing into lane number 2 here. She's got mana to do stuff, though. And Eric does have 1 card left in hand.
So it was a lead, a skirmish.
Looks like an attack, actually.
Attack.
Yep. Kill those minions.
So it would be a tie on that right lane.
Gonna come down to who got the luckier lead from deck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which seems like Matt for this game.
There's a card play. Presence.
Oh,
There you go.
Oh,
presence.
no. That's the last card
That's
from Eric.
big.
That's big.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can
Gives them favor in
also
the right lane, favor in the dome,
Yep.
you can also
and you
pretty
can
much
favor
have
in the left
assurance
lane.
Eckert's gonna have a lead from 3 based on the fact that he put that card back on top.
Mm-hmm. Great time to play it too.
Yes.
Letting you have that lead there to determine if Eckert needs to do it to at least tie Takali winning the lane by 2. What does Ix do? I think what is it? It's tough because
Yeah.
he's losing both lanes now. He's got to win one of these lanes
Yep. I do know one thing that Ix does.
or tie one of these lanes. He doesn't have to win it; he has to tie it,
Yeah.
and then hopefully win the dome.
Yep. Well, all right. Looks like
There's the
we're...
presence.
There's
That
the...
would have been
Well,
a good
that's
card
the
to have
attack.
in hand.
Yep, that's the attack on Brovar that's required, so... Not
He has
gonna
0
do
cards in
anything.
hand. So
Yeah. Nobody has any cards. There are no
Yeah.
responses for the rest of the round.
it's only plays.
Yep. You can do whatever you want as long as it's within the rules, obviously. And your opponent is not going to stop you. GameSlayer apparently wants to know why Clinton, Matt, and Bearcat have the same ping. I don't know. Do I look like a programming expert here?
Because we're all from the United States.
Yeah. I don't know.
We're all from the East
secret-
Coast.
I said, yeah, we're
We're
all East
secret.
Coast.
We're secretly in the same room, hanging out.
Oh my god.
Move, attack. Wait, it should have been an attack move, right?
Yes.
He already did the attack. He flipped the presence for the attack.
We're
I'm just saying
just
the
talking
order
the
and
order of the
worship.
actions, yeah.
Yeah.
And the worships. So,
So he's gonna pull Sakoshi over to the left lane. Is I think
Yep.
what happens here.
yep, which means he's conceding lane 2, especially after the Eckert. I think that's smart. The only problem is,
Or into the dome, one of the two.
yeah, because here's the problem. You might win lane 1, but then Eric wins lane 2, and from the state of things, you lose the dome, which means Eric still wins on Tactician. So is Ishitosk going into the lane and Sakoshi into the dome? Is that what's about to happen? Yes, that looks to be what's going to happen. Okay.
You still have the push with Eckert, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean, you can... Well, with where the token
Well, Eckert can go into the
yeah.
into the bush there, and then push and lead. Oh, that's 3.
Yeah, why? Eckert will just attack, lead. Well, she'll lead first because it's guaranteed to be a 3. She'll attack Takali to push her into the dome,
And then you win 1 and 2.
then is it move or skirmish to get within line of sight of the control point,
Yeah.
and that'll guarantee lane
attack.
1 and lane 2.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
you want to do the lead first because the presence, you know what's on top.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he doesn't even have to lead. He just has to
Well-
get Takali out of the lane.
Yeah.
Well,
'cause-
when you have the action, you just do it, right?
Oh, sure, but I'm saying like
Yeah.
you don't even need to lead because he still wins the lane.
Right.
Right.
All right, there's the attack action. This is
So-
going to blast Tilakali into the dome.
So you've got the lead, you've got the attack that pushes Takali, and now just move within the control point, within line of sight, and that should trigger Tactician.
Yep. Doesn't matter if Nexus goes off because you get 6 on the Tactician.
Correct.
I think he also wins by Nexus Destruction. Actually, he technically wins by Nexus Destruction.
Does he? He's got 5 to 1. Ishito's
No, he has
6 to 1.
no 6 to 1.
Where's the
Nexus
third minion?
Destruction is the win condition.
It's not a minion. You're not counting Ekrit. Count Ekrit as well.
Oh, that's what I was doing. Whoops. Yep. Thank you. There we go. I knew I was messing something up. Yep. So that is victory by Nexus Destruction. All right. There we go.
You want to hop over there?
Yep. Let's go ahead and chat with the players.
Okay.
Because that sometimes they have the push thing that pushes 2, but he's got 3 bases, so you have to be further away from each base each step. But yeah.
Oh damn, those leads were not good.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Howdy.
Good game, guys.
Great
that was
game. Great
that was,
back and forth.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Lots
Eric.
of Skytear drains going on.
Yeah. Lots of Skytear drains and a lot of moving other people.
Ryan was seething in the degeneracy chat about all of this Skytier drain going on.
So, question for you, Eric. When you had Freyheld next to Zakol, did you anticipate the ultimate from Zakol?
So no, but so I thought about it briefly, but my other option was to go away from him, in which case Sinkhole is way worse for me, and I assume he has 3 Sinkholes in deck and only 1 Zakol thing, and I hadn't been watching his deck close enough to know, but not only that, but Sinkhole would have lost it for me, because if I didn't, Freyheld was thinking about coming out here, killing a minion, and then moving back in, but because of Ixatos, she would be slow, so she couldn't get very far in, and then if I do that and he Sinkholes in response and pushes out Estrida and Frail, I just lose. So I was like, I can't let that happen. So, yeah. What's interesting with where I was, it was a kind of a hedge of my bet, right? I mean, that was super nervous. I was like, I have the cards. I think I'm okay, but I don't know. He's got 1 card left. Man, I'd need 1 more Skytear drain to make this feel comfortable.
Yeah. I almost wonder if I should have. I thought about doing the Totemic Slam onto Brilvar there, because he's the one who had the lead on him. I didn't think you could. I had 3 people leading, so I didn't know if you could push all 3 of them out of the dome.
Oh.
But I did not expect the Ekrit ultimate at all.
Yeah. So
when you out and killed the illusion, I was like, dang, he knows. And I'm like, wait, I think I can still get close enough.
Yep.
Because originally I was just going to keep her there and move the illusion where it was, and then I can get further in, but you made me have to skirmish over, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, the other thing that we discussed was the potential of putting the 2 heroes here with a Sinkhole or Chasm, right? And then having Ekrit shoot down this line with her normal attack and push him out.
Oh, that's way better. Yeah, that's
right.
Smart.
Well, we didn't know that you had the ultimate in hand for you.
Sure.
We kind of assumed Zakol had it because we were able to see the entire deck.
No, but you're right, because I was like, okay, I've got Ekrit, I can move everybody 2 spaces, right? And so that was what was in my head. But then after I was like, dang it, I have to Chasm first to get a spot for Ekrit's illusion, and I forgot about the fact that I can then do a wind barrier for just 1, which would have been probably more efficient. But anyway.
So it was a great game.
What would the math have looked like whenever you played the Chasm, Eric, if Matt would have ulted Brilvar and ejected him from the dome, since I think Brilvar was the only one that had a lead at that point? Would the math have been such that Matt would have been able to take over the dome?
I think so, right?
Yeah, I think that was the case. Is that would have been enough?
But then the situation is, Freyhale's Chasm goes off, and you still potentially push 2 people out of the dome.
Yeah, I get 2 out, but I only have 2 people in because Ekrit's not making it in.
Yeah,
so you 2 people. He still has 2 people and a lead.
2 and a lead, and you would have no lead.
I'd have no lead. Because that useless turn where she just did damage, she should have led. But I was like, Brilvar's not going anywhere.
Okay.
But yeah, that was the most useless Frail turn on round 3 I think I've ever had. I'm sitting there going like, I don't want to do anything. I'm going to just shift and attack for 5 for funsies. I don't know.
Yeah.
Great game, guys.
Yeah, good game. Congrats, Eric. That was a very well played game.
Thanks.
All right. Anyone have any final thoughts?
So this makes Eric moving on to the semifinals.
Yes.
And Matt, congratulations on making the top cut today.
Yep.
Thank you.
15 players. Awesome run today.
All right, well, in that case, on behalf of myself, Clinton, Eric, Bearcat, Matt, and all of the Skytear community, thank you very much for joining us tonight, and we'll see you guys in the next game. Have a good evening.